The death of Yasser Abu Shabab, leader of an Israeli-backed militia in Gaza, has sent shockwaves through the region, significantly impacting Israel's strategy to cultivate Palestinian proxies against Hamas. Abu Shabab, a Bedouin tribal leader operating in the Israeli-held zone of Gaza, reportedly succumbed to injuries sustained in a violent clash with well-armed local families. This information comes from local media and sources within Gaza. Abu Shabab commanded the Popular Forces, the largest and most heavily armed of several militias that emerged during the latter stages of the two-year conflict. These groups seemingly benefited from Israeli support, part of a strategy to weaken Hamas and control the population. The exact timing of Abu Shabab's death remains unclear, though it appears to have occurred within the last 48 hours. Reports from Gaza, social media, and Israel suggest that Abu Shabab, in his 30s and previously expelled by his clan, died after refusing to release a hostage taken by his men. This led to an attack on the Popular Forces base by the hostages' relatives, resulting in casualties on both sides. Abu Shabab was severely wounded and later died in Gaza. Hamas, which had labeled Abu Shabab a collaborator and vowed to eliminate him, denied any involvement in the killing. In June, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu acknowledged that Israel had armed anti-Hamas factions in Gaza. However, there has been no official comment from his government regarding Abu Shabab's death. This policy has drawn criticism from experts who question the viability of such groups as an alternative to Hamas, which has controlled Gaza since 2007. The writing was on the wall, stated Dr. Michael Milstein, a former Israeli military intelligence officer and Hamas expert at Tel Aviv University's Moshe Dayan Center. Whether he was killed by Hamas or in some clan infighting, it was obvious that it would end this way. Several other anti-Hamas groups have surfaced in Israeli-controlled areas of Gaza. Dr. Riyam Oda, a Palestinian political analyst, believes Abu Shabab's death will likely fuel uncertainty among these groups about their ability to challenge Hamas. Hassam al-Astal, leader of another newly formed militia in the Khan Yunis area, claimed in September that he and Abu Shabab offered an alternative force to Hamas. Al-Astal's current whereabouts are unknown. Abu Shabab's militia, consisting of around 100 fighters, continued operating in Israeli-controlled areas even after a US-backed ceasefire between Hamas and Israel in October. On November 18, Abu Shabab's group released a video showing fighters receiving orders to clear Rafah of terror, an apparent reference to Hamas fighters believed to be in tunnels there. A week later, the Popular Forces claimed to have captured Hamas members. Israel's intelligence services turned to individuals like Abu Shabab when efforts to build an anti-Hamas coalition with community leaders and family elders failed due to Hamas's strong resistance. Many of those recruited into these new factions were involved in looting aid convoys, leading to accusations that Israel was allowing the theft of humanitarian aid to support its allies. In June, Abu Shabab, a member of the Terabin Bedouin tribe, described his activities as humanitarian, stating he did not work directly with the Israeli military. This raises the question, was the support provided by Israel truly for humanitarian purposes, or were there other strategic goals at play? The Israeli strategy of backing militias like the Popular Forces was a result of Netanyahu's refusal to allow the Palestinian Authority to administer Gaza. Abu Shabab's Popular Forces closely coordinated with Israeli forces around controversial aid distribution sites run by the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation, a US and Israel-backed private organization that has since ceased operations. Donald Trump's 20-point Gaza plan envisions Hamas disarming and the territory being governed by a transitional authority supported by a multinational stabilization force. However, progress has been slow, with Hamas refusing to disarm and no agreement on the international force. The war in Gaza was initiated by a Hamas raid into Israel in 2023, which resulted in the deaths of 1,200 people, primarily civilians, and the abduction of 250. The subsequent Israeli offensive and strikes since the ceasefire have claimed the lives of over 70,000 Palestinians, mostly civilians, leaving the territory in ruins. What are your thoughts on the implications of this event on the future of Gaza? Do you believe the Israeli strategy of backing militias is sustainable, or is it a short-term solution with long-term consequences? Share your opinions in the comments below.